the first look inside of the college planning portal that we use. So you're going to see like we're going to calculate your student aid index. We're going to collect your income and your assets. We're going to talk through a student's bio to determine if they're going to be eligible for scholarships. So that we'll have a pretty accurate student aid index depiction, and then we'll also see what can we afford, and that's going through a budgeting exercise. So this is how normal families are actually paying for college. I get the question all the time. How are people actually paying these bills? And it's not all 529. If you have some money in 529, that's awesome. And there's extremely flexible. A whole nother webinar I'm doing tomorrow on 529 planning. They're a fantastic tool. Even if you're in high school, it may not sound like much, but you can see here, hey, if we're 17 months out, we could still put $200-300 in there a month, and it will add up. So going ahead and put that in there. So knowing what we're going to have, that's kind of our nest egg for college. And then from there, you want to figure out what else might we have set aside. So that could be a parent pledged asset here. So maybe you have a mutual fund account that's got $30,000, and you've always kind of thought that's kind of the slush fund for college. So each of our 3 kids gets 10,000. So we put that on the board. And then talking through cash flow is a really important one, in that when we have thinking through it's $600 a month. It's a lot of money, but it may not sound like much, but over 48 months, it's over 28,000. So that's money you don't have to take out in student loans. So you can either cash flow through your 529 and kind of front load it each year, so it's there for the next semester, or the schools have zero interest payment plans. My suggestion typically is to run it through your 529, because for every 4,000, for the first $4,000 you put in per beneficiary, you actually get a state income tax deduction. So right around 5% is what you get off from whatever you contribute. So putting that money through there, it can really, gives you a nice state tax deduction. And also it's earmarks it for college for the upcoming semesters. We have some exercises. Think through, what do the kids cost us now? What are they going to, what costs are going to go away when they go off to school? Those crazy costs we looked at, those include meal plans. So thinking through if they're taking money from the or food from the cafeteria as opposed to out of your fridge. That's one thing to think about. If you're already used to saving, well, let's assume you can continue doing that without changing lifestyle. And then what activities or extracurriculars go away? And I've seen this number get up, $6,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month, that we feel pretty comfortable go ahead and saying, yeah, we could commit that for college if we needed to. So, just going through that exercise, and that really can be a really helpful number in the college planning process. So being aware of that is important. So this next one is the American Opportunity Tax Credit. It's something that it's a pay it forward, but essentially you haven't gotten it before. But the qualifications are over here on the right. We always have notes for everything that you put into our system. But basically, if you make below 160,000 as a family, you could get the full credit, which is if you spend $4,000 on college, you can get back $2,500. Spend $4,000, you can get back $2,500 as a credit. So a true credit, not a deduction, a credit. So if you owed $10,000 in taxes, that $2,500 credit would bring your due down to $7,500. So it's a credit. But if you make over 180, you're phased out and you won't get that. So a lot of our clients are unfortunately ruled out of that. But there are ways to have the student potentially qualify, especially for people that have incomes 300,000 and 400,000 plus. Those folks, we're going to say you're not going to get it. So let's see if we can get the kid to be tax independent, and they can claim part of that credit. That's kind of advanced planning. I shouldn't go too far down that rabbit hole, but that's other stuff we do, is finding how do we get as much out of Uncle Sam, as much out of the schools as we can, kind of tipping them upside down and shaking them, and so the pennies fall out. Student pledged assets. This is if they have money, will it go towards the actual cost of college? Because books and all that's all part of that cost. So if they have money from birthdays, or maybe they got a big gift from an aunt or an uncle, is that going to go towards school? Put that on the board. And then the next one, cash flow, kind of the same. If they work during school, is it going to go towards to the bursar's office? Will it actually pay them, or will it just be for walking around money? So getting clear on that. And then I think as parents having that conversation as well, hey, do we expect her to work during school? Yes or no? I mean, I certainly did. But a lot of parents are kind of don't want to work, or don't want them to work freshman year, but think, years 2, 3, 4, sure, that can work. But have that conversation, create that expectation with our young adult as well. So And then this one I can't stress enough is the grandparent and outside help. We work with really successful 50-year-old executives and business owners that we still have trouble talking to our parents about money. So in this case, we need to quantify it, right? How much is it and where is it? Because if it's in a custodial account, that can really hurt our financial aid chances. If it's in a 529 plan, that's ideal, right? So, and it's got to be, is it 5,000 or 5,000 a year, right? It's a big swing. And most of the time, like I said, I know they might have something, but I don't really know what it is. So the time is now. We need to know because we're creating a budget. We want to make sure that Riley, in this case, we can have that communication because that can be a game changer. $20,000 in a budget at 5,000 a year. That's a pretty big difference. So making sure you're getting clear on that. If you would like help, have that conversation, please let me know. Happy to have it. So understanding how they can impact financial aid opportunities as well as just how it's going to contribute to the cost. For a lot of families, it's a big deal. It takes a village to pay for college these days. So if we have that now, we've got a clear view of, hey, here's our 4-year budget, and here's our kind of our 1-year budget, right? So we've got 108 over 4, first year 27. A lot of times it comes out to be more than we actually thought because we're just thinking 529 plan. So hopefully that's helpful.